If you'd like to get this and or any other Safari Ltd product, make sure to head over to www.safariltd.com and use the promo code KikiandCoffee at checkout, or use the link provided in the description to not only save 15% off of your next order, but you will also be financially supporting myself and the channel. So without further ado...
What is up, guys? It is KikiZilla101 here, yet again, back for another Safari Ltd review. This one was sent over with that huge package with all the other figures, kindly by Safari Ltd themselves, for the hashtag HowISafari campaign. So thank you guys for sending out this figure. I am excited about this one. This is a really cool... I'm a big Sauropod nut, and I've been wanting to get so many more Sauropods in my collection. And this is one I was really excited about because it is a gorgeous figure. The colors are something that jump out to me immediately. Oof, okay. A couple minor things I want to get out of the way about the accuracy. First, just two little possible negatives, and then some really cool positive stuff. Now, first off with the negative. When it comes to proportions, if I can get it all the way in the screen here. There we go. The tail and neck seem to be a tad too long. Not by anything really major, but maybe just a tad, especially more so on the side of the neck than the tail. But it is something I noticed, but it's so minor that it's really not noticeable unless you actually go and compare it to the skeletons like I did. With that out of the way, there's a couple really cool things about this one in terms of accuracy. All the other proportions are fantastic, almost perfect, aside from the tails and neck, you know. But everything else, oh my god, it's just so spot on. It's phenomenal. Also, one little fancy thing you might notice about his feetsies right here is that he doesn't have those little thumb claws you usually see with sauropods. And that was something I actually thought was inaccurate with this figure at first. Then I looked into it, and guess what? I was wrong. This animal totally didn't have thumb claws on its front feet, and they got that on the figure, so props to them. Another big one is the head. Malawisaurus, we actually have the head of it, which is weird to say, but when it comes to sauropods especially, heads are hard to come by. We get a lot of other like scattered leg bones and tail bones and stuff, and neck bones and other just scattered bits. Rarely do we get anything from the head, especially the whole head. And we have the whole head from Malawisaurus. So we actually have this really cool, unique head shape, thanks to the fact that we know what its head looked like. So, yay! Good little fossil. We know what your head looks like. Alright, so moving away from accuracy, these Osteoderms are beautiful. Look at these. You see these a lot on Saltosaurs, which Malawisaurus is a Saltosaur. Because we have a lot of Saltosaur. I think it's mostly Saltosaurus itself and a couple other Titanosaurs have these Osteoderms on their back. Actually, I don't know if Malawisaurus is a Saltosaur, but it is a Titanosaur. So let's pretend like I knew what I was saying, but I think I just misspoke there. Anyways, Titanosaurs have these cool things on them that we've seen quite a few times, and the way that these ones are put onto the body are really neat. How they almost like get larger but also get bigger gaps between them towards the middle, and then they get more rapid and tiny as they bridge off into the tail and disappear, and in the neck and disappear. And then it just looks beautiful. And look at these tiny scales. Look at these tiny scales across the entire body. This is not that big of a figure. Look at these scales. Look at those scales. Look at my finger next to those scales. Those are tiny scales. Those are subtle, tiny, tiny scales. And it really helps sell the size of the animal based on how tiny those scales are. Let's look at this head here. There is even texture on the face. Do you see that? It's so easy to think that the face is completely smooth. Do you see that texture on the face? There's texture on the face that gives it the impression of really tiny scales. That deserves props, ladies and gentlemen. I really love the detail work on this figure. One thing, because we're kind of bridging in here, I love the colors overall. paintwork is really nice. I really love the dark brown up here that almost looks black, and the nice caramelly orangish brown towards the middle. And then there's like this dusty brown that's like all over the back that really gives it this lively, worn, weathered look. And then the white, and there's this creamy colored claws there on the feet, but the white, this creamy white that's on the belly and then the neck and then the head, beautiful. However, the one area where I feel like the detail kind of gets a little damaged, and the paint has a big part to do with it, because there is some sloppiness to the paint here every once in a while. I have some harsh lighting on it right now, some like sharp lighting. This mouth sometimes kind of disappears and gets a little bit harder to see. So keep in mind that my lighting situation right now is kind of helping it out, but I feel like the mouth kind of disappears in some settings. You can kind of see it a little better here as I'm bringing it in closer, how it can easily disappear. I feel like it would have been a lot nicer if they had painted it, or if it was just a little bit sharper or something, like if the gap was a little bit deeper, would have been nice. But I'm not really going to complain about it too much because the head is so tiny. I just wanted to kind of bring that up because I did notice it. But while we're at the head, look at those eyes. The eyes on this Malawisaurus are some of my favorite eyes on any safari figure I have. They are just gorgeous, and they look so alive. They're so wet. They have this nice glossy finish to them, and the pupils are done so well. The color of the eyes is beautiful. I am in love with the eyes of this thing. Look at that. Look at the glossiness. Look at the color. They are beautiful eyes. I think this one's a little bit less well done than this one, but that's kind of what you get with hand done stuff. You're going to get some variation. But look at that. Look at that gorgeous face. Gorgeous eyes. That's probably my favorite part about the whole figure is the eyes. The eyes are stunning. Beautiful. Another thing. This is like I said, it's a little bit more of a small sauropod figure. But for Malawisaurus, that actually makes sense. The size works here because Malawisaurus isn't really that crazy big of a dinosaur. For sauropods, I mean. It is a big dinosaur. From dinosaur standards, it's huge. But for sauropod standards, it's kind of small. It's about 52 feet long, I think, if I remember correctly. It's around that range, which sounds really big. But when you look at the body, most of that is all neck and tail. And probably a lot of you guys have seen either a Brontosaurus or a Diplodocus. I've seen Diplodocus many times at my local museum in Colorado. And while they are huge, they always looked like a more moderate-sized sauropod to me. I knew that there were much bigger ones than that out there, like Brachiosaurus, or even the really big ones like our Argentinosaurus and other Titanosaurs. To put that in perspective, that Diplodocus that's in my Kiki Quest video is about 82 feet long. And so that one that seemed a little bit more moderate is bigger than this. Malawisaurus isn't the biggest sauropod we know of. In fact, it's one of the smaller ones. So the fact that they gave it a little bit more of a smaller model size really helps out. But yeah, I really thoroughly enjoy this figure. I think the posing is just beautiful. I love the stride, love the arch to the neck and the whip to the tail at the end there. The colors are stunning. The eyes are majestic. Just a really fantastic little model. Cannot recommend this one enough. Sauropods are always something that I have to advocate for people to get more often in your collections. I always am trying to get more of them because I think they just have a really nice presence to the shelf. This one's definitely one you do not want to miss out on. Really great figure. And you can go over to www.safariltd.com and use the promo code Kiki and Coffee to get 15% off your next order. And that's not only going to save you 15%, but it's also going to be financially helping out myself and the channel. So it's a pretty great deal there. Everybody involved is pretty happy. So I would definitely consider that. Get this guy added to your collection. Really beautiful present, especially if you have like a shelf where you can have his like neck sticking off the edge of the shelf. The beautiful curve and arch to it just looks really great in that setting, and I'd highly recommend you trying it out. So yeah, this one's going to get a 9 out of 10 from me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.